the principal streets, the GBC roundabout, the fire service station, and then they go through the gateway of the EC, which is at Nkwanta, in the northeast or Nalerigu. That's in Nalerigu. They start from Nalerigu Senior High School, the entrance. They go through the Y Junction, the Baptist Medical Center Junction, and then the Nairis Palace, the Nairis Police Barracks Junction, and then they go to the Nobia FM Junction, and that's where they terminate, and then they present their petition. In the Greater Accra region, the Krabbe Nkrumah Circle, of course, you know, the Obra Sport is always the starting point for some of these demonstrations. And then the Farisco Traffic Light, TUC National Theatre, Accra Sports Stadium, Military Cemetery Traffic Light to Parliament House, and then to the EC office. In the Ashanti region, you expect the NDC to start from the regional NDC office at Amakum Traffic Light is the next point, and then Asafo Labour Roundabout, Asafo Interchange, KMA Intersection, Ridge Junction, Lancaster Hospital Intersection, Regional Coordinating Council, NDC Ho Park, and then they also go in the Volta region. They go to the Ho Park, the Market Street, Ola Traffic Light, Service Center, White House, KK House, Ahoy Roundabout, Glala. Glala Street, ending point at the Electoral Commission in Ho. The Bono East region, that's at Tichiman. They start from Zongo LA Primary School, Holy Family Hospital Roundabout, Ahimfie Traffic Light to the Methodist Traffic Light, Amanfrom, Nyamitiasi EC Regional Office, Diasempa, and then they go to the Regional VRA Road, Nana Abena Market, Nana Ameyao Stadium, and Almedia Road, all the way straight to the NDC Regional Head Office. So in the Bono East region, note that after the petition is presented, they walk back to their regional office. The Savannah region, that's Damongo, they start from Disco 7 Junction, Point 77 Junction, Damongo Hospital. They go to the station near the Singapore area, Damongo NTC, and then they terminate at the Electoral Commission's office where they present a petition. I have a go also. They start from the roundabout of Shabasli Street, Old Plantain Market, Pentecost Junction, Fire Service Junction, Community ICT Center Junction, Nana Kwesi Bosompra Park, and then to the EC. In the Bono Osunyani constituency or the region, they start from the NDC Regional Office, they go through the Sunyani Zongo, ADB Roundabout, Rex Roundabout, and then to the Electoral Commission's office. And then in the Northern region, Tamale, they start from the Jubilee Park, they go through the Central Mosque, they go through the West Hospital, Abuabo, Traffic Light, Taxi Rank, and then the Azoka Roundabout, and then to the Post Office, Star Oil, and then to the Electoral Commission's office. So that's going to be the itinerary for the NDCs painting the country red.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
And that's the latest campaign song of the NDC. In the background, I think joining studio by Osman Ayariga, the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC, clad in his camouflage and a red shirt. What's the inscription on the shirt? There's nothing there.
Just red.
But why enough is enough? What's going on?
Roland, good. Sorry, I'm just coming from.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
I'm just coming from TV3.
Helen has been wondering why you people say enough is enough. She's been asking me all morning. I said, when you get here, I will ask you. Now I've asked
Johnny.
you. Yes.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Helen. Good morning to
good morning.
your cherished listeners and those watching on Facebook, online. Good morning to your cherished viewers as well. But permit me to wish you a happy belated birthday before I even start and seek forgiveness for not coming on your birthday. I was supposed to be in your studio that day. Remember after we had the picketing
with the lawyer. Yes, Philemon.
Yes. So let me wish you a happy birthday.
That's fine.
Johnny, we're saying enough is enough because we've had enough of the incompetence of the Electoral Commission, Jane and her deputies. We've had enough of an opaque system within the EC. We've had enough of a register that is not credible. We've had enough of the EC being an extension of the MPP's headquarters. Enough of the disrespect. Enough of you trying to twist the arm of Ghanaians to skew the elections to go in a particular direction. That's why we're saying that enough is enough. You know, when you push people to the wall, it just gets to a point that they tell you that enough is enough. They just need to push back. And that is why we are pushing back. We've raised so many issues and so many concerns so far as this electoral register is concerned. We've raised issues pertaining to illegal transfers. We've raised issues pertaining to people's names not being found in the absentee register. We've raised issues to people's names being illegally deleted from the electoral register. And these are not numbers maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. No. And you put all the figures together, we're talking about discrepancies to a tune of over 300,000 names. Now, if you disenfranchise 300,000 people going to such a crucial election and is supposed to be within the strongholds of the NDC, what it means is that we are going into an election with a negative of over 300,000 votes. And that is why we, through our election directorate, being headed by Dr. Omane Boama, have been so vigilant. And to that effect, we've been able to unearth most of these discrepancies or most of these Machiavellian tactics just to make sure that the NDC doesn't win the election. And that is why we are telling Ghanaians that enough is enough. Because everywhere we go, what Ghanaians tell us is that as for the NDC, we'll vote for you, but you guys need to protect your vote. You guys need to protect the ballot. You guys need to be able to collate your votes and be able to win the election. We'll do our part. So it's left with you, the political party, to also do your part. So we as a political party, Johnny, we are doing our part. And that is why we're telling the good people of this country that we have identified all these issues. And we are calling on the Electoral Commissioner. We are not calling for a new register, no. We are not saying that let's put the elections on hold or we do not want to go into the elections. Come, let's sit on the table. Let's get an independent body.
What do you say to the National Peace Council suggesting that allow the Electoral Commission to self-correct? The Electoral Commission will self-correct, and then following that you can then make your input and ask for this audit that you're calling for.
Since 2020 that we held the last elections, the Electoral Commissioner's main work is to make sure that they produce a credible register. 83 days to elections. We still do not have a credible register.
Today's 81 days.
81 days to elections. We do not still have a credible register. We do not trust the Electoral Commission to be able to produce a credible register without us being there or being taken care of, or us actually contributing to making sure that we can actually clean the register.
So you disagree with the Peace Council?
We disagree with the Peace Council. We do not trust the Electoral Commission because, what again, if we provide all the evidence you have and you come back with another register 2-3 weeks to elections and we still identify issues with the register, where then do we go? Do we now start asking for a postponement of the entire electoral process or the day of elections? No. So that's why we're saying that what will it take from the Electoral Commission if you sit with the stakeholders of the elections? We are the stakeholders of the elections. Without political parties, there'll be no elections. So what would it take away from the Electoral Commissioner if you sit with the stakeholders of the elections and say, what are your issues? Let us address them one after the other. And this has happened before. This has happened before. This has happened before. Issue of us having an independent body to audit the electoral register. It has happened before in 2016, headed by His Lordship Justice VCRAC Crab.
That's right.
That was a commission that sat down to audit the entire electoral register when the MPP at the time raised issues of over 76,000 names.
International audit at the time. I remember.
When they raised the issues of over 76,000 persons who were Togolese and found their names in the register. Today we are not talking about 76,000. We are talking about a process that would disenfranchise over 300,000 voters. So between 76,000 and 300,000 voters. And under Afarijan, under Charlotte at 76,000, she allowed for the audit of the register. So why is it so difficult for you to allow for us to audit the register of over 300,000?
Does it come to you as a shock that Jean Mensah then was the boss at IEA?
Yes,
and it was the IEA that made suggestions that, look, Electoral Commission led by Charlotte to say, listen to the concerns being raised by everybody else and do the right thing. Today, Jean Mensah is in the chair and you're making calls and she says,
and
look, I got my hands on it.
This is not the first time Jean Mensah is taking this double standard position. That when she was director or executive director IEA, she decided to take a nationalistic and more objective position on matters. But after she became EC chair, she's rather taking the position of an MPP foot soldier, behaving like an MPP foot soldier.
That's not fair to say.
I mean, that is fair because that is what we see. Because every time we raise issues and concerns, she has just been adamant and refused to listen to us.
Maybe you're crying wolf.
But so is she also saying that at the time when she issued a statement in 2015 asking for an independent audit of the register, she was also crying wolf? At the time, people just raised concerns of just 76,000 voters that they believed were not Ghanaians but found their names in the register, even though some were also Ghanaians who found their names in the register. But today we are talking of over 300,000 persons whose names are in the register, who may have or will have the voters' ID card, but on the day of elections will be disenfranchised because you may just go to Ablekuma West because you believe your name is in Ablekuma West to vote. As soon as you get there, you'll be now told that your name is actually in Boku Central. How then are you going to vote? So what it means is that you possess your voter's ID card, but on the day of voting, you'll be unable to vote. So what happens on the election day? Aren't you now leading to a chaotic scene on the election day? Are we going to say on election day we need to put the entire election on hold because people cannot find their names? No. So that is why we have started already raising all these issues, all these hurdles. Let us clear them so that we can have a smooth process. We can have a very credible elections. We can have a transparent elections. We are not scared of this election because we believe that against all odds, all other things being equal, the NDC headed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will win this election.
You had an opportunity to go back to IPAC after the Peace Council spoke with you. You stayed away, but you went back. These issues pertained. You could have raised the red flags then.
I mean, these issues...
Did you raise the red flags?
We've raised these issues at all levels. IPAC, yes, it was raised with the Peace Council. It has been raised at all levels. Every level that you think we should have raised the issues, we have raised the issues. We have sought audience with the EC and their directors. The last time they asked us to come there, we went there with the media men because we wanted the entire world to see the magnitude, the gravity of the issues. But the EC said no, they were not going to meet us with the media, but they wanted us to bring our issues and they look at it. We said no, we are no more going to give you any document in secrecy. We are only going to give you documents or any evidence at the full optical glare of the media so that the entire world will see and hear the kind of discrepancies, the kind of inconsistencies, the weight of the problems, the weight of the issues, the weight of the mistakes that today the electoral register is engulfed with or possesses. These are the issues we have raised. How difficult, Johnny, how difficult is it for us to audit a register? Agencies are being audited every year. 3FM, you are being audited every year, both financially and human auditing. You are audited any time of the year. So how difficult is it to audit an electoral register at least once every 4 years? Because we are not asking for an audit every year.
You're suggesting that the Electoral Commission maybe has something to hide. That's why they are not allowing you to
yes. That's why I believe.
But
that's why I believe.
That would not be fair to that they have something to hide.
Oh, but today the Electoral Commission is being filled by MPP foot soldiers, MPP former TESCON patrons, MPP lecturers who we saw them in the lecture halls lecturing us and talking about MPP all the time. So I am not surprised that they are behaving the way they are behaving. And that is why I keep telling that they are behaving as though they are an extension of the MPP headquarters. And that we will not accept. That's why we will continue to push hard to make sure that we have a transparent, free, credible register. That is all we need to win this election.
Do you get a sense that this nationwide demonstration, enough is enough, will earn any results at all?
We believe it will end results. We believe it will end results.
Who are you trying to appeal to? The Electoral Commission that is not listening to you?
Well, the first step, and if you recall, when we asked that the register should be audited, the media asked us that if the EC doesn't heed to our call, what were we going to do? And we answered by telling that we are going on a nationwide demonstration.
Right.
We hope they will listen. If they do not listen, I know the media will ask the second question. As soon as they ask the second question, we'll give you the second answer.
So you have something else up your sleeve?
We have more. So let's finish with the first activity. I don't want to take the wind out of the sail. Let's finish with the first activity. I want to believe the Peace Council, the EC, everyone would listen and talk and speak some sense to the Electoral Commission to heed to the call of just an independent auditing. It's not going to cost this nation anything. In fact, UNDP, other agencies are ready to foot and fund the bill of us auditing this register. So why is the EC scared? What is the EC hiding? What is Madam Jane hiding? She should tell us, what is she hiding today? That today, being the EC chair, she has lost her sense of objectivity, she has lost her sense of reasoning, she has lost her sense of thinking as a nation builder, but now is thinking like an MPP foot soldier.
Now, somebody will say you are trying to make the country ungovernable because we're just 81 days to the big election and you decide to do this. You're actually rather raising the sentiments of people, trying to whip up anger in people and ultimately make the country ungovernable. Is that what you're trying
to do? But currently, MPP has even made our lives ungovernable for ourselves. So what is wrong if we make the country ungovernable for them?
How do you mean?
Johnny, no jobs for us. My life is ungovernable for me. There are no jobs for young people. Over 1.9 million people do not have jobs. People are unable to feed themselves. People do not have proper training. People do not live in proper homes. People are hungry. People's lives have become ungovernable for themselves. Yet people who we voted for to govern this country right are rather enjoying. So if we make it ungovernable for them, what is wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So for me, if we make this country ungovernable, hallelujah, I want that to happen.
The police didn't hesitate to agree to a demonstration. In the past, they would have said, oh, well, there's one here. So that's progress, right?
Yes, that's progress. But you and I know that tensions are high, and the police themselves know that if they do not grant this demonstration, things may just escalate. So sometimes it's better for you to allow the people to vent than to bottle it up. And I think on the 21st, there's another 3-day demonstration by I think it's Vamawo and his group.
Right.
So they are going to be so that's also dealing with Fix the Country and Julobi House. So you realize that it's a season of protests and demonstrations because people have had enough. And that's why this time we are calling the enough is enough. The reason why people have decided to be on the streets is because they've had enough of everything. They've had enough of the stealing. They've had enough of the hypocrisy. They've had enough of the incompetence. They've had enough of the corruption. And just when they know that there's light at the end of the tunnel in December for them to vent that anger and vote out an incompetent, wicked government, the EC is trying every means possible to stifle, trying every means possible to truncate that journey. And that is why the NDC is also marching on enough is enough demonstration. Because we are enjoying the peace of this country because people believe and know that on the 7th of December every 4 years their votes will be counted and they know that they can make the right choice, they can make the right decision to change any government that is not governing in the right direction. So anybody that is trying, anybody as in any commission or any electoral commission that is trying very hard to truncate that progress, to stifle that objective, obviously the good people will be on the street to fight you. We do not have the likes, the events of Kenya and other countries, because young people believe that on the 7th of December they will go out and vote well, and their votes will be counted, and they will kick out this.
I will come back and ask you about Let My Vote Count Alliance and what you make of the allowed silence. But let me cross over now to the Obra Sports, where that's a start point for the Greater Accra Regional Demonstration of the NDC, codenamed Enough is Enough. Eric Mawena Egbeta is there on the grounds. Eric, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Johnny.
Great. Now, you tell me, you are the Obra Sports. What do you see? Who are the notable faces you see? What are the numbers looking like? And some more updates, if you can.
Right, and so over here at the Circle of Brass Sport, it's still quite early days just as yet in terms of what is expected to be the numbers on the streets today for the opposition NDC Enough is Enough demonstration. We're still seeing the crowd coming together in quite their numbers. So far, hundreds of them. You could make a case until over 1,000 people are on the streets, and that will be very factual. But still, in terms of the numbers we've seen in the past, based on protests organized, we're still not quite there yet in terms of the numbers expected for a protest by the largest opposition party in the capital. And so quite a lot of individuals on the street, yet to reach the ultimate numbers which kickstart the protest. We're yet to see the full top brass of the party as well come on show here at the Circle of Brass Sport. For now, the indication I get is that the Director of Elections of the party, Dr. Omaneba Buama, is already here, yet to grant any interviews or give any firm word just as yet. But in terms of the deployment, we've seen reinforcement from the Ghana Police Service as well, who've come here in their numbers. We've seen the new Greater Accra Regional Police Commander as well. Also here, the hierarchy of the police service here as well, in their full regalia, also here stationed, ready and waiting to police the protest. So far, if you're very familiar with the Obra Sport area and where the PBL in Nkrumah is and the statue, you realize that that particular stretch headed towards the ringway is quite gridlocked with traffic because the police is yet to close the road officially, and yet the supporters of the NDC are taking over that particular stretch of road, and so it's brought about quite a lot of traffic gridlock at this particular point in time. But the vehicles are moving quite steadily as the supporters of the NDC continue to make their way in quite a number to this particular spot. There is a different scenery, particularly if you're doing the runabout just around the PBL in Nkrumah, which has a lot of taxis, a lot of motorbikes as well, all arranged, waiting for the protest to kick off, and then there will be a part of it. Special police operations, trackers just pulled up as well, also suggesting a lot more reinforcement in terms of what is expected today. And so all getting closer and closer to what will be a final number in terms of what the party would expect for the demonstration to kickstart, Johnny.
I can understand that the thing was supposed to start at 9 a.m. Osman Ayariga is seated right in front of me, but do we have word also from the office of the former president, from the office of the running mates, Gina Opoku-Agyeman and Prof? Do we know if they're going to be there in flesh and blood?
Early days yet. In fact, if you cast your mind back into a lot of the protests that's been organized, rarely have we seen the flag bearer of the party or the former president present. What we have seen in the past before, though, is the late and former vice president, Emisa Arthur, present at one of such protests. But for him, we're yet to see any of the presidential candidates present. And so it will be a novelty, really, if we're to see Mr. Mahama present and partake in this particular demonstration. Of course, he's spoken, made the point that he's expecting all Ghanaians to be present and be part of this particular protest. It remains to be seen if he himself will grace the occasion. No strong word yet as to whether or not he will be here. But like I said, we will wait to see if he does come around, having galvanized supporters of the NDC over the last 2 days to be a part of this particular protest today.
Now, Eric, before I let you go, I'm also interested in what the police output looks like on this day. Do we know what we see?
Well, the police does come off prepared. We're yet to see a number of the men who have the body cam, because those body cams are quite visible, very big, and so if they're wearing them, you can't see them. But so far, the police is here in their numbers. It does appear that, like I mentioned, the regional police command is here as well, heavily represented, and so a lot of direction will be taken from that particular front. I've just seen the Honorable Sam George as well walk past about a few meters away from me as well. So the gradually, Johnson Asiedu Nketia as well on top of his vehicle, also making his way to this particular place and giving the same sign to the supporters, and that is cheering them up just a little bit. And so it does appear that the party leadership are beginning to make their way to this particular place. Johnson Asiedu Nketia now present, and so that perhaps will kickstart the rallying point for the protest fight to be able to begin, Johnny.
92.7.
I see. Now, usually when you see General Asiedu Nketia up on the track, you would hear some reggae music blasting away. Is that also missing, or is it there? Do you see the PA systems?
The reggae music is loud, and I suspect that you already be hearing some of it if you're not hearing it already. And so that is a customary to a lot of these protests, the reggae music. And so that has been always a part of the culture, and it's blasting loudly right now. And so that's what the atmosphere is like right now. They're seeking to charge it up a bit more, and then the protest can begin, Johnny.
Thank you very much indeed, Eric Mawenagbeta. We're grateful for your time this morning. Yeah.
3FM Sunrise.
The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
I have to let Osman Ayariga go, but before we go, Let My Vote Count Alliance. All of what you're doing, enough is enough, is to make sure that your votes that are casted on the 7th of December count, right? We have a group in this country called Let My Vote Count Alliance. My own brother David Asante at Ghana Publishing Now used to lead that. Are you surprised that they are silent?
Their stomachs have been counted, so they've forgotten about it.
I don't understand.
Yes, Let My Vote Count. When they started, they were interested in people's votes.
Right.
But after the NPP won the elections, the actors or the key actors of Let My Vote Count got their stomachs counted. They all got appointments and got juicy appointments. So their stomachs were counted. So they forgot about the masses. And today they are no more interested in the counting of votes, but they are interested in the counting of their stomachs. So I'm not surprised they are very quiet, because all of them have landed themselves very juicy appointments. But this is not a pressure group. This is the NDC party that is interested in making sure that every vote is counted. So we are going to continue the fight with or without Let My Vote Count.
Do you feel like lone rangers on this journey?
No, we are not lone rangers. I mean, CSOs have also spoken about it. CSOs are into it. Some political parties, I think Alan also spoke for it. Some independent candidates also spoke for it. We don't expect the MPP to join us in this matter because, of course, as I said, today the EC is behaving as though they are an extension of the MPP. So they are on the same bed and they are bedfellows and they are enjoying the warmth of the bed covered by a duvet. But of course, that bed is so uncomfortable. We don't want to be on that bed. That is why we are on the streets. So they can decide to be sleeping on the bed, but at the long run, we'll kick them out.
It does appear that this duopoly we have been with the NDC and the MPP. Each time you are in opposition, either the NDC or the MPP, you have an axe to grind with the opposition. When you are in power, you are for the opposition. So, for example, I remember in 2015 when the calls came for the international audit, Paul Afoko, Kennedy Japan, Nanado himself, many others were calling for it. Sami Uku, all of them. The president at the time, John Mahama, said, well, make your input and let the EC decide on what has to be done. Flip the coin. The MPP says, okay, make your input and allow the EC to do the work. Why do you people do that to us, the citizens of Ghana?
Yes, but at the end of the day, in 2016, when the MPP made their input,
they did it in 2015, actually.
Yes, 2015, yes. The EC agreed to the audit. So we have also made our input, so the EC should agree to the audit. As simple as that.
But yours is too close for comfort. 81 days to the election.
Yes, even if a day to election, we must make sure the electoral register is clean. Johnny, 300,000 people to be disenfranchised. It's no joke. People have won elections with 3 votes. Parliamentary elections.
Right.
And this
MP3.
affects, yes, and this affects, this affects parliamentary as well as presidential. Because if I'm supposed to vote in Ablekuma Central and I get there, my vote is not there. What it means that I won't be given the opportunity to vote for the parliamentary candidates and I won't be able to vote for the presidential candidate. So you see that 300,000 votes is no joke. So the audit we must do. The audits we must and we shall.
If the EC says no, what do you do?
We will do everything possible to make sure that the audit is
Would you
done.
be heading to the courts?
Everything possible we shall do to make sure that we audit.
If the EC decides to do the audit and it has to push the elections beyond 7th of December, will you be okay with that?
It's better to have a credible, free, fair, transparent election, even if it's next year, than to have an election that is tainted with so many issues. Because the constitution says you have it by 7 December. And what again shows the EC hasn't said that if you're supposed to have an audit, it will go beyond the 7th of December. And we haven't said that we need more than 3-4 months to have the audit. The audit, depending on how we
You're calling for a forensic
audit. Yes.
That's the going in total.
Yes, but forensic audit doesn't mean that we need so much time. Forensic audit, because we already have our evidence. So we are just coming to the table. Now provide your register. These are the evidence we have. So A, B, C, D. What it just means that we just need more hands to do it if the EC is really dedicated to doing it. What maybe one person would have used 2 days to do, I'm sure 2 people will use 1 day to do it. So all we need is just more hands. So for the issues of auditing, we haven't gotten there yet. We just need the EC to agree in principle that they are ready for the auditing. Then we can bring out all the evidence and all the
former director of Electoral Services of the Electoral Commission, who is now a commissioner of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Teti. You remember what he said some time ago, about 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week? He said that, look, this perhaps is the first time you are taking an interest in this whole register thing, because the register that was used for the 2016 election had trees, plants, and animals representing human beings in it, and yet you didn't say anything about it. What do you say now?
I think that was a very unfortunate statement coming from him. The fact that today we are raising issues doesn't mean that you should refer us to many years past if we didn't raise issues. We are talking about today. So why do you want to talk about the past? Let's talk about present day. Do we have issues with the electoral register? Yes. Is it within our right to raise those issues? Yes. So what concerns him if there were trees or monkeys or animals on the register and we didn't raise the issues? Today we are raising the issues. So he should let us address today's issues. Let's not be going back and forth. So I'm rather disappointed that he has decided to take a swipe at what he thinks happened in 2016. But we should be talking about what is happening now, today. Are there issues with the register? Are there issues of transfers? Are there issues of people's names being deleted in the register? Are there issues that sum up to over 300,000 people likely to be disenfranchised? And the answer is yes. These are the issues we should be dealing with. So he shouldn't come and be telling us what he's telling us.
Osman Ayaga, I thank you very much indeed for your time. I wish you all the best. I know you are heading to the Obra Sport.
Straight. So I'm calling on everyone out there, any young person, old person, male, female, NDC, MPP, even though that we know the MPP will not be there, we are inviting everyone to come in their numbers, to come and demonstrate so that we all can have...
They should leave their work and come and demonstrate.
Absolutely, because if you don't leave your work today... for one day and come and demonstrate. If you're not lucky and the MPP wins, you may just leave your work for the rest of your life because you may be jobless.
Are you not overstretching this matter?
I'm not overstretching, but people have been made jobless after the MPP came to power. How many people were removed from the banking sector? How many people have been removed from so many sectors? They have become jobless for the past 6-7 years. So leaving your work for one day is better than leaving your work forever. We told people that if the MPP wins, people are going to lose their jobs. People have lost their jobs. So then again, it's better for you to lose today's work than for you to lose your entire livelihood. So I'm calling on everyone to come and join the demonstration. Then also, I'm also sending this caution to people who may be sent because we've picked intelligence that the MPP is sending some people just to come and foment trouble so that it looks like the demonstration was chaotic. Yes, we've picked that intelligence.
Why would they do that?
Just to give the NDC bad, publicity, so that tomorrow the newspapers will say that there has been a clash between the Ghana police and the NDC demonstrators or the protesters. No, we are leading a very peaceful demonstration. So if you have been sent by the MPP to come and foment trouble, be rest assured we'll deal with you before we hand you over to the police. So if
you deal with them how?
We'll deal with you. A few, we are resetting. So a few slaps to reset you. Yeah, so a few slaps to reset you. We'll reset you before we hand you over to the police.
But you are wearing camouflage. You are a lawyer. You know that mob injustice is not allowed.
But if you are assuming, because we've attended so many demonstrations, we've taken part in so many demonstrations, and some of these infiltrations can be really dire. So sometimes actually trying to arrest the person, there may be some 1 or 2 actions to reset the person before you hand over the person to the police.
Is that your version of reset?
No, as for resetting the country, we are going to reset the country.
But you say you are going to reset.
No, but some individuals, yes, anybody who is infiltrated, we have to reset you before we hand you over to
you reset them
the
to
police.
What?
Factory settings.
I see. Okay, thank you very much indeed for coming. We'll go to the Ashanti region in a bit and connect with our folks there. Tell us what's happening. Helen. You want to be reset?
Not in that manner. That kind of resets, it sounds generational.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good at all.